Okay, what we're doing here is we've taken the locking mechanism off of a worn winch. It doesn't want to lock. The end spool piece right here, this will not turn around to free spool. It's locked. It won't go around and free spool, so we can pull the cable out. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to first clean some of this grease out of here, so I can disassemble the unit. Got a lot of grease in here. Looks like it's pretty old, but not a big deal. Just take me just a minute to get all this grease cleaned out. And what we'll do is we'll go ahead and lift this planetary unit out right here. As you can see, this is the planetary. The reason being called planetary is because it's got planetary gears. You can see it looks pretty good. Don't see any issues with it. It's just all greasy. And then we got to get on down here to the bottom where we can see the mechanism that's supposed to lock and unlock this, and it's not working. So got to figure out why. And still got a lot of grease in here. Got to clean some of this out so I can get to everything. What I'm doing is I'm just going to pull out this unit, which is just basically a spacer. I'm going to lay these just like they were assembled so that we won't get all confused about anything. And then we'll lift this planetary out. This is an inner planetary. See, it looks like it works all right, and this gear's turning pretty freely. I don't see any problems there. Problem appears to be where this internal gear here grabs. This is an internal gear right here. They call it internal because the gears actually turn in. If you'll notice right there, the inside gears. I've got to get that unit out, and I'm going to have to lift it out of the housing. It's going to have to lift out because this is all one piece. This is solid. So you can't take any of this apart on this outside here. From what I can see, that looks like it's all one piece. I'm pretty sure it is, yes. So what I got to do is I got to get that planetary, I mean not that planetary, that internal gear assembly out of there. We're back. It looks like the planetary stays in. It looks like it's going to be this internal sun gear. That's a sun gear too, but this small sun gear is going to have to lift out, and I just got to lift it right out of the housing and get a hold of it enough. And there it is. Looks like it's good and free and clear. I'm going to stack it right there. And we still can't move anything because all this is all froze up. So I don't know why. We're going to take it all the way down anyway. We're going to have to take this. I don't see anything as far as the sun gear or any of the mechanisms in here that's damaged. Everything looks good. Internal gears look all right. So evidently the problem must be arriving right here just at this handle. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get an Allen wrench and take that handle off right there. A little Allen wrench right on that side. Just a second, get that wrench. We'll get back on that. The Allen wrench on there. I'll cheat just a little bit and use a impact to break this loose. There we go. Got that little pin out. You can see what it looks like. It's a little small pin there that holds that in. And we'll take this and slide this pin out right here. Looks like the entire trouble might just be right here where this moves this up and down. And I believe it is. I believe it moves that sun plate up and down right there. This internal gear right here is supposed to lift up and down, and it's not doing that. It's frozen. It won't move. I don't know if you can see in there. Basically all this handle does, this handle has a little eccentric on it. If you look real close, the eccentric is just, it's just a cam. It's off center. See, when you put this in there, in the hole, I should be able to turn it and push that whole plate up or down. Move this whole plate right here up and down, and it's not moving. It's frozen. So that's probably what our trouble is. Let me get this out of the way. And then what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to work on this. I may have to get something down in here on the inside, on each side, and pry this up and just pull that whole plate out and clean it so it'll move and get it where it moves freely. and it comes back apart. So we'll break right here for just a minute, and I'll get me something that I can use to maybe pry this released, and we'll see what happens. Basically gave it a simple lick and it came apart right there. It's not really where I wanted it to come apart, but that's okay. I still need to take the inner ring out. This inner ring has got to be what's got to move. See, it's got to move up and down, and it's frozen right here, so I'm gonna see if I can get it to move. And I did. I got it to move a little bit. I just kind of slammed it onto the concrete floor. I know you couldn't see that, but it basically raised it up, see, so it's a little bit higher up. I can get under here now. I should be able to get under here with this pry bar, this slide hammer, and try to slide it up. I'm gonna have to put it in a vise, which means I'm gonna have to relocate my video. So just stand by just a minute. Let me see if I can relocate the video so we can hold this on a vise, so I can release it. Okay, hopefully you can see what I'm doing here now. Picture might be a little bit far off, but let's see if we can let you see this. What I want to do is I'm going to take this pry bar, going under here, since I got it knocked up a little bit. I'm going to kind of twist it. You see what it's doing? It's bringing that internal gear on out of there, so I can just pull it straight out now. And the internal gear is out now. And that freed it up, and boy, it smells awful. And you can see where water has gotten in here. See, that moisture has gotten into that unit, and there's actually even moisture inside here as well. I mean, you can see it looks awful. So I'm gonna have to put this in the vat and clean it up very good, and put some new grease in it and get it where to move real freely, and then we'll try to reassemble it. I'm gonna have to come up with a gasket that goes along right here. See, this gasket tore in two places right there, and this is the other piece. Goes on, you can see where the gasket is torn. It goes just like that. So we'll have to clean it up real good and see if I can get it back together. But I'm gonna put it in the vat, clean it up, and then we'll come back from the video and I'll show you how to reassemble it, and we'll put the proper amount of grease in here. It looks like somebody's pretty much over greased this thing. For one thing, it's got so much grease in it, there's no way it can function. This sun gear here cannot move up and down in that travel area with that grease down in there. That grease is actually holding this from moving in and out of that hole, and it's got to move in and out freely, because that's the component right there that gives us the motion up and down. So we'll look at that after the video comes back on. So just be back in just a few minutes. It'll be instantaneous for you. So I'm gonna snap my fingers, and okay, we're reassembling this now. I've spent about an hour and a half cleaning up all these parts. They were really dirty, and this piece right here, of course, was corroded very bad. You can see the corrosion on it, where moisture had gotten into the housing and froze it up. It wouldn't work. So I've got it all cleaned up now, and everything should be moving freely now. So I'm going to stick it back together here just for a minute, and just first of all, let's put a little grease on here. I want just a little light amount of grease on this ring right here and on both sides of this. I'm just going to kind of smear it on just a little. I don't want a huge amount of grease like it was before, because I think the grease that was in there was kind of holding it from going together, to be honest with you. So the housing goes in like that. Nope, sorry. The corroded part goes down, looks like this. You can see there's a little difference in. There's a little ring here, and it's smooth. The ring part goes up. Is the way it goes, like that. That way it goes deeper into the housing. I think that's right, because if you do it the other way, I don't believe it will let it turn far enough. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this eccentric back on here right quick, get it in place, and as you can see, now when I turn this, all this moves properly. See, we're getting motion. When I turn this way, that releases it. Turn that way, that engages it. Okay, release and engage. So should work pretty well right there. We're gonna put the set screw in. Set screw is right here. I'll turn this around to where the set screw will start itself, and then we'll put it in right quick. I'm just going to zip it into this little impact, just so gently. Probably shouldn't do that with impact, but I'm just going to, as you can see, I'm just barely turning it. I'm not going to tighten it very hard. I'm just going to get it in there in place. We'll worry about tightening it in a few minutes, okay? And now we've got it where it moves. See, it moves very freely on both directions. Looks good. Looks like it's moving like it's supposed to. Now, we'll tighten this down. And we're ready now to go ahead and put the rest of the components in. This is the sun gear, the lower sun gear. Goes in the bottom. Then the lower planetary, which is smaller, goes right in here into the housing around it. You have to kind of work it in because you can't turn anything. So you want to work it into place. I think if I turn this though, I might can turn it. Yeah, I should be able to. Yeah, see, that turns it right there, and that's free. Now I can turn the planetary. Then the midsection planetary, put it in there, and we'll turn it. You see, everything's turning pretty freely now. So I'm gonna put a little more grease in here now in this area. I do want to grease this area very well. I want some pretty good lubricant so that we won't have any damage to the housing. Alright, gets it down in the planetary. And now that's pretty good and smooth. Put just a little more right on top of that unit. This grease will work its way down into that planetary assembly and into that sun gear assembly. But the thing is, it should not work itself around the outer edge of this housing is what I'm looking for it not to do, so it should be fine. And now, we place this on the top. And the way it goes is, this housing, of course, goes like this, and the teeth go up toward the top, these teeth, because the teeth have to engage into the winch itself, and we'll see in a minute how it engages into the winch. And these have to clear. This little notch right here on this inner edge has to clear these little pokey places sticking up right here. So I'm going to flip them like that. That's the way they go. But they're going to go on the underside of this. It's the same thing. But it goes like that is the way it goes, okay? So we put this piece on. Then we put this piece on. And we should center up pretty good. May have a little trouble getting everything to center exactly, but it should work all right. Shouldn't be any issues that I see. Now, what I did, I put a little grease, a little glue on each side of this broken gasket. I'm not going to replace this gasket because the customer's wanting to fix this pretty quick, and so I put a little glue on each side to try to catch the gasket and get it back in place like it's supposed to be. I'm going to slide this down on here, and hopefully, if we've done this right, it'll go right together. You have to turn that sun gear a little bit or something to get it to engage. It's in the right place, but I want that gasket to go all the way down, and it hadn't done that yet. Not making me happy. Hold on just a minute. Stubborn about lining itself up here. Maybe I'm not holding it just right. I'll lift that off for just a second. I'm gonna make sure that we've got everything lined up here. That's turning freely, so that's right. That locks it. That's free. That's exactly how it goes, just like that right there. The problem is this little plastic ring here is wanting to be in the way of me setting the housing all the way down into place. This has got to go all the way down. Let me see what's holding us off. Sometimes you can take it apart and put it right back together again, and it just go right together. So that's what we're going to see. Got a pair of snap ring pliers here. I can turn this planetary while we try to seat this whole thing in place. All I'm doing basically is just turning this until I get that top planetary to set down, which it is refusing to do. Wait a minute, maybe that did it right there. And I think it did. That did do it. Just had to get it moved just right to get my little mallet right here. Give it just a little bump. Okay, it should be down now. It's in place. That's good. Now the planetary turns freely. When I turn it this way, it don't. It locks. That's what it's supposed to do. So now we're ready to reassemble. Okay, now we're ready to assemble this component. This is the housing that's got the drive gear that drives this mechanism to put it in neutral, basically. This is the drive shaft that comes to the center and engages this gear, and they're separated through this planetary unit in here, and that's what this does. I'm going to leave it in their disengaged position so that I can rotate it around and get this housing right here to line up with this housing right here, these teeth to line up with these teeth, basically is what I'm doing. So I'm going to very carefully turn it sideways and slip it up on here very gently, like so. And then we're going to turn it up here to the top. That's the way it's supposed to go. Okay. Take me a minute to get all the way down to the bottom. There we go. It's all the way down. And now I'm going to just rotate it until we're in place. There we go. It just went right together pretty simply right there. And now she's in place. And I've got all these screws up here. And we'll put all these screws in one at a time all the way around the housing. And now with the magic of video, we tighten the last bolt. And we're done. Completed job. And as you can see, now the component turns to engage and to disengage. And I should be able to, in the disengage side, I should be able to grab this cable here and pull it out. Get around here so I can get to it. Should be able to just pull it. And you see I can. You lock it, and now it won't move. And that will. And that won't. So it's doing what it's supposed to. Works like it's supposed to now. So the customer should be happy. Another job well done. If you enjoy my videos, like them for me. And that's all I got. Thank you.